Welcome back to the Take Flight podcast, where we dive into the latest trends, insights, and innovation shaping the world of marketing and business. I'm your host, I'm Candice, and today we're gearing up for one of the biggest events of the year, INBOUND24. INBOUND is known as bringing together some of the brightest minds in the marketing, sales, and customer experience sphere, and this year promises to be no different. But what is it like to attend this powerhouse event for the first time? To explore this, I'm joined by two incredible guests. First, we have Lemay Rodgers, the Senior Digital Marketing Manager for Rentokil Initial, where she leads B2B marketing and CRM strategies across the world. Lemay brings a unique blend of technology, research, and people skills to her role, and she's here to share what she's most excited about for Inbound 24. We're also joined by Shiran Sugarman, who's the head of our onboarding here at Spitfire Inbound and a certified HubSpot trainer. Shiran is passionate about human-centric approach of inbound marketing and helps clients leverage CRM tools to achieve holistic growth. Today, we'll be delving into their expectations, what sessions they're looking forward to, and how they're preparing to make the most out of their first inbound experience. So welcome, ladies. Let's get started. How are you doing?
Hi, Candice. Lovely to be here. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh,
Great.
hi, guys. This is great. Thanks for that amazing intro, Candice.
No worries. So, welcome to this podcast. And as the first time attendees of Inbound 24, I'm going to pose a question to both of you. What excites you the most about being part of this event? Shiran, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so I've been a part of Spitfire Inbound for 7 years, and I've been involved in the team's excitement around Inbound and have seen the details both from afar and online. So I'm really, really excited that this year I get to be the person that goes. And I'm really excited to get the learning experience and be there in person. I think, you know, I've done the online sessions when we went online following COVID, and I did, you know, get the secondhand elements from people who've gone before when they came to give us a talk. But I feel like when you're actually there and you're experiencing the atmosphere, there's an extra layer of learning that you get, and that's what I'm really, really
Absolutely.
excited for.
Cool. Lemay?
I think completely echoing what Shiran says, it feels like we've had inbound on our vision boards ever since we were introduced to HubSpot. And for many years, the old saying, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, feels
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
we've been cheering on colleagues, you know, both within RI as well as Spitfire for quite some time, waiting for them to come back with that knowledge. And wow, every year they just seem to overachieve and exceed expectations. So it's finally our turn, and I honestly cannot wait. It's like marking it off on the calendar like you do for Christmas.
Awesome. So, Lemay, having said that, and how do you see Inbound 24 influencing your work, and especially in terms of innovation and driving strategic thinking? So, when you come back, how do you see that influencing your day to day?
Well, I think maybe just to add some additional context, you know, Inbound as a conference caters for everyone within marketing, sales, operations. So the amount of content, the number of sessions, the speakers they pull to this event because of its reputation is just phenomenal.
Mm,
So I think, you know, we are all busy. We are all business professionals with very, I'm going to say, packed agendas on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Having the opportunity to actually take 3 days out to go and learn and actually to sit, I'd say almost face to face with some of the brightest minds in our industry, I think is a gift. So
mm,
Yeah.
bringing that information back into your organization, being able to share the latest thinking, as you say, those trends, what's happening in AI,
yeah.
is our new bingo card word. For
Absolutely.
everyone at Inbound, I mean, it is just, yeah, I think the potential is phenomenal. Every time we get information back every year from either live stream or other audiences, it does just shift the mind of
Mm,
the people working on the software, and it does influence your marketing. So we are expecting more knowledge, more inspiration, and also some revenue to come off the back of it.
Absolutely. So, Shiran, on your side, obviously, with you being a HubSpot certified trainer and the head of onboarding here at Spitfire, with your focus on the inbound methodology and helping clients leverage CRM tools, how is attending inbound going to fit into your overall professional goals when you return?
So I think, much like what Lemay said, is it's being in person in front of those great minds. So I've been in the world of HubSpot. I have immersed myself in HubSpot, and I know the ins and outs of the tool so well, but I know it from my own perspective. And I think, getting the insights from other experts in the field and other people who live and breathe this every day allows me to see things from a different perspective. And it's always good to kind of have that different perspective, because we do live in our bubble sometimes. And I'm really excited to be able to be there in person. And I think, at the end of the day, it's also down to networking.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
relationship that we as Spitfire, as a partner and as individuals, build with people in our industry and in HubSpot allows us to help our customers be better, because we have the relationships to help them expand, grow, learn.
Great stuff. Well, now let's dive a little bit into kind of the sessions and the speakers. Like for both of you, are there some sessions or speakers you're most looking forward to seeing at Inbound 24, and why do these resonate with you? I'll pass this over to Lemay first.
Oh my goodness. How long do we have?
Well,
I think what's really exciting is that there are some, I want to say, foundated speakers in the program that I've been following for quite some time that I'm really excited to see in person. So Nancy Harhut, um,
Yeah.
I feel like her work on behavior, human behavior, and how that relates to marketing, how it affects buyer patterns is inspiring, and she always has something interesting to share. So her session on 5 unconventional messaging moves for marketing mavericks, say that 3 times fast. Really, really looking forward to seeing her in person. And obviously, Jay, everything email related. Jay is the guy. I think that he is renowned globally. So definitely looking forward to seeing him in person. But there are a few interesting newer sessions as well. Of course, Jonathan Berg, he's doing a session on boot camp for revenue leaders, which really looks exciting. We've got John Dick and Michelle Paluzzo looking at CX lessons and converting detractors into promoters. So I can literally carry on. I might as well
Mm.
through the whole program. And I think that for most people going, obviously Ryan Reynolds, Serena Williams, massive draw
I
card.
thought you forgot
I was
about
going to
him,
say,
but
right,
yeah,
like Serena
Ryan
Williams is
Reynolds.
great, but I want to see Ryan Reynolds.
I knew Shiran was going to lead with that one. So, Shiran, apart from Ryan Reynolds, what are you hoping to see at Inbound?
So I think, for me, there are some key speakers I'm super excited about. So obviously, our dear friend Carl Gibson is
Yeah,
always somebody that I like. I'm so excited to be there in front of him in person, because I feel like he's not a real person at the moment. He's just this magical creature
yeah,
that
you
that
will
is
see him in the
always.
flesh.
I'll
Yeah.
see him in the flesh, and I'm going to the super admin troubleshooting session, which I'm really excited about, because, like I said, I think there's going to be insights and learnings in there that will really make things clearer and give me a bit of ideas on how to do things better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always excited for the spotlight, just because that is the opening. I know it's the opening session, but it's also the session where they just reveal kind of the what's coming, what to expect, and they get that build up going. And also, I've always wanted to see Dharmesh in person with his
Mm-hmm.
cool T-shirt. Like it's
Oh,
an expectation. So I think it's like a thing. And another thing for me as well is going through a lot of the. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of AI. I think we know that. But I think that there's the George B. Thomas stuff. I mean, I've engaged with George B. Thomas on LinkedIn, as well as he has hosted some of the boot camps that HubSpot does, the super admin boot camps. And not only is he such an insightful person, but he's so captivating, and I feel like his sessions will be both informative and fun. And I think fun is something that we all want to have as well. And I think, I'm focusing a lot on the customer success elements this time. So I think both Lemay and I struggled to pick our sessions and find those perfect sessions to go to. And I mean, with me, I really wanted to focus on the customer success stuff, and anyone from within HubSpot that can tell me more about how customer success is going to change and grow is really exciting. So I think, for me, it's not just the speakers. I'm excited about some speakers, but I'm more excited about the actual content that's going to be brought in. And I would love to go to all the sessions, but there's only one of me.
Yeah. Well, we'll delve into that a little later of how you plan to spread yourself.
And I do think, okay, fun aside, I am really actually very interested in Ryan Reynolds' session, because he is, outside of being Ryan Reynolds, the actor, an exceptional businessman. And he has developed so much with, the gin company and the soccer team. And I'm just so interested to see what it is that he's going to be talking about. I think the excitement of actually being spoken to by someone who is a master at business.
True. And I think both you ladies have kind of answered my next question, but I'll just pose them to you if there's anything else you want to add. From Lemay, on your side, Rentokil Initial, kind of from your side of the business, you've integrated technology and research and people as part of your role to drive innovation at Rentokil. Are there any sessions or trends at Inbound that you think will help you further that integration at Rentokil that you haven't mentioned before? Because I know you'd mentioned some key ones earlier. Is there something else you just want to add to that?
As I said, I could carry on forever. I mean, they even have some really I'm going to call them cute tailored sessions around things like future of technology and wellness. Brian Halligan is hosting that one, I believe. So I think there is a lot of sessions, and over and above what we've already said, I think the opportunity to network with like-minded people is probably the other thing that will just push the knowledge over the edge, because it's not just about attending a session, taking your notes. I mean, we all did that through COVID on the live stream, but having the opportunity to then go have a coffee, digest, discuss the concept with someone else, write down the idea that will be executed when you get back to your office. That's where the magic's going to happen, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Shiran, you've often mentioned in various sessions I've been with you that inbound methodology is all about talking to people and not at them. Are there any sessions or topics at Inbound that align to this kind of human-centric approach to marketing and client engagement that you super excited to join?
So I think by nature, most of the sessions tend to lean that way. But I think, to follow on from your question to Lemay, I think that there are some sessions that I'm quite excited about that will help us do things better. So for example, the data management sessions and how to keep your data clean. It's something that we do at Spitfire every day for clients, but there's always another way to do it. And there's always ever evolving, ever changing things. Another session I'm quite excited about is the Marcus Sheridan session about content marketing in the post-Google apocalypse. Which
that sounds cool.
Sounds very dramatic.
It does sound very dramatic, but I think where that really, engages me is that with HubSpot and Inbound, content is everything and being helpful. But you've still got to remember that SEO is a thing and AI is a thing, and Google is making changes, and knowing how to handle that, especially for a client like Rentokil who has a global reach, is going to be really, really interesting. So I'm very excited about that session.
Super cool. So we've just spoken about preparing and getting ready to go to Inbound, and it can be quite overwhelming. There's so many sessions, there's so many networking opportunities. I'm going to pose the question both to you, like, how are you preparing to make the most out of the event? What are you doing to get ready?
Well, I'll kick off. Take the
Go,
lead for sure. So I think that one of the things that we've had a head start on is, Shiran and I both have had colleagues that have gone to the conference before that have come back with some really sound advice around making sure you take care of yourself first and
Mm-hmm.
foremost. Stay hydrated, make sure that you eat, take breaks, get enough sleep. Although we all want to stay awake as long as possible to see as much as possible, but get the sleep. Make sure that you touch base with loved ones, look after your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had some great tips coming from people that have been there before. And then for me, preparing, we have a few people that are going from our organization, but also like minded partners, like we have in Spitfire Inbound. So we have shared our sessions to look at how do we divide and conquer.
Mm-hmm.
We can always share notes afterwards and try and cover as much ground as possible. And with that, we internally have also put together a bit of an event checklist, things to do, things to remember, everything from wear flat shoes and take a jacket just in
Yeah.
case the AC is a little bit too cold,
Mm.
all the way through to remembering to take notes, take
Yeah.
photos, touch base, central meeting points, all those bits. So it's gaining traction. We even have a little WhatsApp group internally so we can find each other. But preparing for this is all about, first of all, having the things in place, but then also being open to the experience. So
Absolutely.
everybody's very excited.
It sounds like you
Yeah.
got your planning down, like
Gosh, what?
ready,
Yeah.
ready to go.
We've been preparing for the better
Sure.
part of 7 years, Candice.
Yes,
I promise
exactly.
you.
The time has come. We've been
Time
ready.
has come.
So, Sharan, how's your planning and how you going to manage the many, many sessions, networking opportunities, and getting ready to go?
So I think the advantage on our side is that there are four of us from Spitfire going.
Yeah.
So we
Hmm.
have sat together, done a bit of a divide and conquer. Obviously, we would all like to be at the every session, but it's not possible. So we did sit as a team and kind of pick and choose and try not to have like lots of people or everyone in the same session, kind of like spread it out so that we can get as much of the knowledge as possible from the sessions.
Hmm.
Like Lemay, Lemay and I sat and booked some lunch together so that we didn't forget lunch, which is very important as well. And I think just looking at the same thing, Ali and Darren have gone before, and they have given some key advice as well. Same thing, wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are at the sessions, as soon as possible. If it's not a booked session, you need to, might not find a seat, so be there on time. Things like that. But I think for me, the largest portion of the prep, because I think once we're at inbound and once we're there, it's a bit of a whirlwind, and we will kind of take it as it comes. I think it's more the preparing to actually leave and get there,
Mm.
and small things like packing bags and
Yeah.
making sure we don't forget the toiletries, and all of the little planning and prep that we can do leading up to it is where I'm at the moment. But I think that the main thing for us is that we want to get the most out of inbound for and come back and bring it to everyone's centralized focus. So we want to make sure that we are touching on every theme that we can in the sessions as a team, and get together afterwards and kind of discuss, plan, do some social media content so that everyone can keep up to date. And then of course the parties, make sure we're ready for the
Ready
parties.
for the parties. Yeah. Lemay, and obviously, as you being responsible for B2B marketing across the world, at Rentokil Initial, how do you plan to balance learning from the sessions and also connecting with your global peers? Because I'm sure it's going to be a meeting ground for your peers as well. So how you planning to navigate that?
I think it is very exciting. A lot of the team I work with, I've never met in person. It's always been on a screen. So I'm sure there are going to be some aha moments where it's like, wow, I didn't realize you were so tall in person. Um,
Oh,
so
that's be amazing.
I feel that is coming. So as a team, we are really, really excited to engage and to spend that time together. And my role is really about enabling our teams. So I feel like we've built relationship over time and meeting at this event, spending some time together. We're also going to be seeing each other before the event. It is really about solidifying that relationship, making sure that we are sharing the knowledge on the day, and we've got some content planned post the event so we can share with our other colleagues that couldn't attend the conference in person this year. So
Mm,
lots of collaboration, lots of touching base, making sure that we are sharing those learnings. But most importantly, it's about spending that quality time together.
yeah,
We don't know
connecting.
when it's
Yeah.
going to be again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And Sharon, from your point of view, obviously with your background in guiding clients through CRM tools and marketing strats, what specific outcomes are you hoping to achieve from attending Inbound and bringing them home?
So I think for me, my knowledge is my moneymaker, for lack of a
Yeah.
better word. Like the more that I absorb and learn and grow from, the better I can, give that feedback and that information back to
Mm,
my team and my clients. And obviously, we will, as Spitfire, there will be an advanced hub, HubSpot user group, which will be run to kind of give that feedback as well. But it's about what's next. I think that is the key for everything that we do in this space, in the world that we live in. Is there's so much growth happening, and you have to keep up to date. And sometimes that can be difficult. But HubSpot does make a lot of announcements, and they do talk about a lot of what's going to come on a HubSpot side at these sessions. So while I'm really excited for the learnings, there's also a portion of going to Inbound where we learn more about where HubSpot's planning to go and where Hub sees the future of the industry going. And that is vital information. That is cornerstone information for someone like me to be able to understand what's coming next and know how I can then help my clients and our team do business better and just grow.
absolutely. Well, that's a great segue into the next set of questions I have for you regarding like kind of that impact of that knowledge sharing and coming back. So, to both of you, how do you think attending Inbound will kind of impact your respective roles, both at Spitfire and Lemay at Rentokil? Like, what are you bringing back that you can that will change your role or give you a different mindset?
Gosh. Uh, Knowledge. I think,
Yeah,
and Lemay, I'm sure that you'll agree with this. I
I
think
think it resonates on both sides.
yeah, it
Yeah,
comes down to the knowledge, and like I said, the networking,
yeah,
the relationships that we built. For me as well, a lot of the people from the Rentokil team that I engage with day to day are also the online people. So I'm also, as Lemay said, very excited to be able to see them face to face, engage with more of the Rentokil team that I might not get to see regularly, and then be able to help them grow and show them what our learnings are, and then bring it all back and build on it. So go, this is what we learned at Inbound. This is how we're going to implement it as a team and for our clients.
absolutely. That's great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to steal Shiran's homework on that one. It is definitely about the bringing the learnings back and the
Mm,
implementation, because I think, we are all great at making plans, but the implementation is key.
Yeah.
I'd rather
mm,
implement something small very well than trying to iterate plans over years and you just never get
yeah,
anything done. So key is to bring that knowledge back. A lot of like-minded people networking. I'm sure we're going to get some great ideas out of that, and hopefully, also ways that we can kickstart those initiatives really quickly. I think the only
yep.
thing that I can add to what Shiran said, it's the inspiration, and anything
Mm,
that is inspiring gives you that little bit of additional motivation. So if
Mhm.
we can
absolutely.
sprinkle that magic dust around, we are in for an even better year than we've had this year.
Yeah. And also, what I'm hearing from you guys is that collaboration. So, that emphasis on connecting with the rest of the Rentokil team, both for you, Lemay, as peers, but also for Sharon, you work with them on a daily basis. as client, and that I think just overarching collaboration is also just going to really cement the relationship between those individuals that you're going to meet in person. It's like from a screen to in the flesh, I think is really going to be cool.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's like exactly what Lemay said. It's what are we going to bring back, and how are we going to make those small incremental changes that are going to make a huge impact in the long run.
Absolutely. And I think that bringing those insights back and to drive that innovation in the CRM strategies is, main aim. Okay, so we're going to dive into just some final thoughts from both of you, of personal insights and some final thoughts. As first time attendees of Inbound, what advice have you been given as a first time attendee, and how are you going to maximize your experience?
I'll kick us off. I think that a lot of it we've said already. So possibly just a bit of a summary. It's about making sure we are looking after ourselves, as well as our teams, our peers that are going with us, and really just being open to the learning. There's going to be so much going on. I'm sure that we will all feel a little bit overwhelmed. The amount of people and orange and loudness and excitement in that space. So I think it is just about, as much as there is excitement and as much as you want to see everything to just be measured, rather lean on your network and do things together. I feel that that's really important, and it is all in the preparation. So when we get there, we can just actually enjoy the experience and soak it up, and hopefully run into a few celebrities,
Along the way.
Yeah.
look forward to seeing what Venn diagram he has this time, and how many dad jokes we can add to the tally.
Yes, true.
Yamini is a phenomenal business leader, and a role model to so many women in this industry. So other than Ryan, and we'll say his name again and again, and Serena, that's really cemented herself not only as a sports professional but as a business professional. There's a lot of, I'm going to say, local HubSpot celebrities as well that we
Yeah.
look out for. So I think that is, those are the main points for me. I think it is just about that, going out, learning as much as you can, bringing it back, and let's implement it pace.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Lemay said specifically around the being overwhelmed. I think that the only thing that we haven't really mentioned in depth right from this point is that in preparation, I think that as newbies, I mean, those people who've been to Inbound before will have the awe and the wow, and oh my God, it's my first time is over, and they're able to enjoy a bit more. And I think for me, that's another thing, is to just be careful not to get too overwhelmed and not to try and overdo it. We are only able to do as much as we can. And while we want to gather all the information possible, like we said, we've got to stop for lunch. We've got to maybe miss that one session to, get to the next session on time. And I think that that's something that as a newbie, I really need to remind myself, is that I can't be front and center at every single event. I just need to be present and listen. And except for Ryan Reynolds, I might not be a front and center at every single event.
And I think you mentioned it earlier in the podcast, is like, just have some fun. Like, just really have some fun while you're there.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
How often do you get to be around so many creative people at once?
Exactly.
Totally. Absolutely.
Definitely.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah.
Is there one key takeaway or lesson you hope to bring back from Inbound 24, and what would it be? Shiran, I'll go to you first.
I think it's difficult to kind of focus in on one key lesson because we don't actually know, we know what the sessions are about, but we don't know what HubSpot's going to announce and what they're going to bring. But for me, the most important part is to come back with new insights, and to, as we've mentioned multiple times before, bring back something that is something we can implement, something that we can give back to people, because this is an amazing opportunity. And there are many people who would love to have this opportunity, and it's doing them a disservice to come back with nothing. So it's all about going, this is what I'm going to come back with. And what I'm going to come back with is knowledge and implementation strategies. And I think for me, like I said, my focus really is around getting better at implementing and putting data into the sphere, as well as always for me, it's about making customers happy and bringing those insights back.
Absolutely. Lemay?
Oh, I feel like I need a crystal ball for this question, to be very honest with you, Candice. I think the one thing that I would like to come back with is just a very solid list of things that we can action based on the
Yeah.
inspiration we learn at the conference. If I can come back with 5 things from the 3 days that can just nudge us along further on our journey, I would feel
Mhm.
it was a very successful event.
I like that.
Absolutely.
I
I
like
like
that
that as
idea
well.
of five key things to come back with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, I think you're going to put that in your prep notes to
Putting that in
take
my
with
prep
you.
notes.
Yeah,
What are the
absolutely.
5 key things? Because we do key takeaways. So anyone following our socials and following our blog post will see key takeaways coming their way. But I think that that coming back with going at least 5 things that I can
Yeah,
implement.
like
I
set
love
that
that.
as a goal for yourself. That's what I want to
Exactly.
come
It
back
is
with.
my goal. Well done, Lemay.
Absolutely.
You've given me a goal.
Stunning.
Yeah, I'm worried if you come back with more, you're just not gonna do it. It's gonna
For
sit in your
sure.
notebook
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
gonna
Let's be
review
realistic.
1 year, and then after that, it
Yeah,
all goes to waste. So rather
yeah,
just keep it simple.
Agreed.
absolutely. Realistic, achievable, and then it will get done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ladies, finally, what are you most excited about for the future of marketing and CRM? And how do you think events like Inbound 24 shape that future for us? Lemay?
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, wow. Really,
This
really
is the
peeling the
future,
onion
the future
today.
state.
Oh, sure. That is a really, really good question. I think the future state of marketing is really that things will remain fluid. I think the introduction and the uptake of AI has been a game changer. It's kind of been our next revolution. So I think it's about more than anything, performance marketing will always be there. We will always
Hmm.
chase our numbers. There will always be targets, but I think as a marketing community, there is a shift around what is it that I should be doing versus what AI can do to enable me. So I think a big mind shift and a big trend for the next year at least, and something that's come up on the inbound agenda a million times, and I'm sure that we will walk away with takeaways around that, is around how do we use the AI component to empower and uplift rather than seeing it as a threat or something that can replace. I
Absolutely.
don't know if that
Yeah.
answers your question.
Absolutely. I think that's great visionary for the current state and then the future of that. Sharon, do you have anything to echo on that? Because I think,
So, I mean, I think Lemay put it very,
yeah.
very well. I think for me, what I've seen in a trend, so I think what Lemay's unique view is as the client, if you will. So as the marketer who needs to market a brand and a business.
Hmm.
And from my perspective, I get the advantage of looking at how marketing is going across multiple brands, multiple industries. And I think what we're seeing a lot more of is people wanting more of a personalized and individual experience and a self-service experience.
Yep.
People want to be able to go where they want to go, get the information, talk to a bot, talk to AI, but people are more inclined to try figure things out themselves first. And I think that brands that embrace that and are allowing themselves to inform rather than tell people how to do things,
Hmm.
again, talking to people and not at them, is
Yeah.
where the future of marketing is going. And we've seen that, even with GDPR regulations and data privacy, as a marketer, getting to more people on a digital space has become quite difficult. And with all the ups and downs that Google has had, and third-party cookies, yes, no, maybe it's going to happen. I think that understanding as a marketer what all the trends are is so important, and I think that that's what this conference does. It allows you to see the trends not only from your sphere and your bubble, but from a global perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, ladies, I've had a fabulous time chatting to you. I am super excited about your trip and your first time attendance of Inbound 2024. So have a super trip, travel safely, and yeah, lap up all that knowledge and sharing. And I can't wait for you guys to come back and share your insights, your takeaways, your experience, and meeting Ryan Reynolds, I want to hear all about. Seeing him in the flesh. So absolutely, it's been a fabulous time. If you have any parting thoughts, yeah, but it's been fabulous interviewing you for this session of your preparation and your journey to Inbound.
Thanks, Candice. This has been great. I think it's even given me some thought starters. Like I said, what am I going to do next? Now I need to get my 5 key things. So thank you very much. And I mean, I'm really excited to be going, but I'm also very, very excited to get back and be able to share those learnings and implement. I'm an implementer at heart, and I do get really excited to build and create new things. So watch this space, and
Absolutely.
we will definitely come back with our insights. So very excited about that.
Yeah, thank
Cool.
you very much for hosting us, Candice. It was lovely speaking to you and Shiran today, and definitely a lot of excitement and more good things to come. So I hope everybody that is listening to this, that is going to the event, engages and shares some tips and tricks of their own with you guys. Would love to see that coming through. Yeah, and I guess we'll report back.
Yes.
Sounds good. Thanks, ladies. Have a good
Thanks.
one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.